Hi friends, this is Jessica. In this video, I'm going to do a quick overview on how to edit your smartphone images in an app called Lightroom Mobile. This is what it looks like. If you've not already downloaded this app, just pause the video and do so. Once you open Lightroom Mobile, you have the option to look at all your camera roll photos or all the photos you've uploaded into Lightroom, or you have the option to create albums. As you can see, I do that. Here's our St. Martin trip, and then every month of this year so far, because I document all of our family events and everyday life. To create a new album, to get started, you hit the plus there by albums and say create new album. You can title it whatever you want. That will open a new album for your images. If you're not ready to start an album, that's okay. You can simply import photos individually by clicking Add from Camera Roll and selecting a photo. I'm going to choose this one of cuddling Jersey. So now if you go to all photos, it's going to, I have a lot. It's going to show you the newest ones at the top. So here is that photo of me cuddling Jersey from yesterday. Now that you know how to import your photos, I'm going to go into the preset previews that I've been working with, and I'm going to show you how to edit a photo in more detail. I'm going to choose this winter one of Jersey and I walking in the snow. Once you've opened an image, you have all of these tools in the bottom toolbar to go through. This one that says selective, that's going to make edits to one specific spot of your photo. So if I hit add and the brush, I could brush right over Jersey, and you can do any of these edits to that part of the photo only. So let's say, for example, I wanted to sharpen him a little bit. I would up the sharpness, and it only did it to that part of the photo. The healing brush is what you would use, or the healer is to try to remove spots or lines from your image. So you can see I tapped over those asphalt lines, and then I can copy part of the photo to get rid of the lines there. I want to get rid of this other section, so I'm going to just, and then there's one more asphalt line. Oh, that was not a good move. Let me click on this and try again. Let's go more like that. Okay, so using the healing tool, you can see that I got rid of parts of the sidewalk that I didn't like the look of. This, the healing tool is a great tool if you have things in your images that are distracting, like signs, trash cans, something on the building you want to get rid of. It just helps get rid of something in your image. Crop is pretty self-explanatory. You can crop your image any way you'd like, rotate the image, or you can simply change the angle of the image using the crop tool. I don't want to save that. All right, so the next tools we have in the toolbar are what is really the meat of editing. You can use the auto function. I don't like to because it doesn't really read your image well. It doesn't give a personal edit. So I don't use auto often. A great place to start if you're new to Lightroom is go all the way over to where it says presets, and we're going to open the Bright and Breezy Presets. To do this, you want to click the drop down menu and then choose your Bright and Breezy Presets, and then you can click on different presets and see how they would change your image. Ooh, that bright pop, that one's pretty. Or let's try overcast, and it's kind of cool. Shade. I like shade, but I also like bright pop. I'm going to stick with bright pop today. Once you've chosen a preset you like, you're going to hit the check mark in the bottom right corner. Now, let's say you chose one of my presets, and it's great, but it's not quite perfect, and you want to tweak a few things. Let's go back over on the toolbar to our individual edits. We have light, color, effects, detail, optics, and geometry. So let's start with light. If you open that menu, it's going to give you options to tweak exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows, whites, and blacks. So these little dots that are moved, that's because that's the way I set it when I created this preset. Let's say in this image you wanted it to be a bit darker. You don't quite love how bright it is. You can bring exposure slider down to make it less bright. You know I love things bright. I'm going back. Now, if you wanted it to be a bit more, have a bit more pop and contrast, you can hold that slider for contrast and slide it up, and you can see it'll pop out a bit more. So those are the changes you can make in light. Color, in the color menu, it'll give you temp, tint, vibrance, and saturation. I normally only mess with temp and saturation. Sometimes from my pro camera, I need to change tint. Temp is what's going to make your photo warmer or cooler. I'll show you what that looks like. There's a cold jersey and there's a really warm jersey. So it just adds blue or yellow into your image. And then saturation, of course, is going to just really brighten and saturate those colors. Oh, look at my orange dog. Looks like a Cheeto doodle. I want to undo that because he does not look like a Cheeto. So that's how you can tweak the color of each photo and each edit. Effects, I don't really mess around with unless I need clarity or dehazing. Dehaze is an edit you'll want to do if you shot into the sun and it made it hazy. It's not as sharp. Clarity is what you can do to just really pop out the sharpness of a photo if it looks a bit soft. Moving on to detail, this is where I mess with sharpening. It's just another way to make your photo look sharper. So if you zoom in and look at Jersey now, he looks, ooh, super sharp. That will help pop out. You know, I don't use sharpening as much in the toolbar like this. I do use it with a brush for the selective tool, like I did earlier where I highlighted Jersey and made him sharper. Optics, I don't use a whole lot because there's not much to do here. This is for when you're using a wide angle lens or your lens has issues. You can see it makes a tiny tweak there for your lens correction. Geometry, I do use a lot. If you happen to tilt your phone in any direction when you're shooting, geometry can help you straighten it. So you can choose the drop-down menu and do auto. I don't always like that. I tend to just use the sliders. So let's say I shot it with my phone tilted. Now Jersey looks like the right size. Maybe you need to change it horizontally as well. That'll be side to side. I don't think I twisted this image, so I'm gonna leave it. That's what I do on geometry. Remember, do you see that white border down at the bottom? When you change the distortion, the geometry of your photo, it's going to change the crop. It's going to just change, it's just going to shrink the entire image in one direction. So you will need to recrop your image to get rid of those white borders. So let me line that up. Check, done. All right, at any time, if you don't like what you've done and you're too deep into edits and the undo button is simply not enough, you can hit reset, and this will give you an option to reset to import or open. So let's say you've opened Lightroom 4 times, edited this image all 4 times, you can go back to different phases of your edits. Likewise, let's say you took 20 pictures on your day 1 of vacation. They're all in the same beach. They all look about the same. You can do pretty much the same edits to them. This one was look how similar my edits are. Is that a good thing? I really like it without those sidewalk lines. Okay, so let's pretend this is a different photo. I can hit previous and then I can hit all, and it'll copy the same edits to that portrait. Since this one had the selective tool, okay, I wonder, I slid now so I can't undo it. Booger. So let's say I didn't want to include the selective brush in this, because let's say you took out a sign, but in the next photo there's no sign. You would just hit adjustments and it's going to keep those lines in there, since you're probably not copying and pasting to the same photos. It'll copy your edits to color and light, but not your selective brush. Once you've edited photos, there's a couple of ways to export them to your camera roll. From just this individual image, you can click export and then export to camera roll, and it is saved. Or if you're editing your entire vacation, you can go to that album and click the three dots and hit select, and then you can simply select all the photos you want to save. You will hit share and same export to camera roll. Those are the very basics of getting started with editing in Lightroom. I'm going to show you one more to show you how quick this can be. These are the peonies in my windowsill that I'm obsessed with, and I know that I made a preset just for these. It is So Extra. Boom! You gotta love that one. I think it looks perfect because I created this, but let's say you're like, oh, Jessica, you're off. That's a bit too bright. Again, we'll go over to exposure, bring it down a bit. Da-da-da. Nope, just not right. Pop those shadows up. Oh, I know how to edit better than Jessica. Yes, I do. And then again, you're going to export to camera roll and save your edit. I know that was fast and quick. It was just meant to be a quick summary. If you have any more extensive questions, don't ever hesitate to email me or direct message me on social media. Have a great day. Bye.